Good evening, everyone. Welcome to today's session. Thank you for joining us. My name is Chaitanya Mohan. I'm a market developer at Asian Institute of Design. Before we start, a couple of hygiene notes. You can post your questions and queries in our chat box or in the Q&A icon that you see on your Zoom panel. And also that this webinar is being recorded and we will share the recordings after the session. And it is also being live streamed on YouTube. We have been conducting a series of webinars, and today we are presenting the growing VFX industry by Mr. Vikram Chandran, who is a digital compositor at Take Five Productions Canada. Let me give you a brief about Asian Institute of Design. We are a progressive higher education institute offering quality education since 2008. We are affiliated to Bangalore North University, and we are located in Old Airport Road, Bangalore. We are committed to create an environment that supports active learning, educating students to become critical thinkers and contribute to the betterment of the society. With 12 years of intellectual journey, we are offering a bachelor's degree and diploma programs in the areas of art, design, gaming, animation, and emerging technologies to students across India and abroad. Our faculties are experts from industry who are educationalists and entrepreneurs in what we call as a hybrid faculty set. Let me also tell you about our alumni who have been part of top-rated games like Call of Duty, GTA 5, and they have also been part of Hollywood blockbusters including Avengers Endgame, Detective Pikachu, and also the Oscar winner Jungle Book. For further information, please do visit us at our website, and also you can drop by. And please do follow us on our social media handles for further information on the webinars and also the courses or the queries that you may want to have. And let me introduce our speaker, Mr. Vikram Chandran. He is a digital composer and VFX artist. Currently, he is working as a digital composer in Take Five Productions Canada. His reputation precedes him with his noteworthy works in Hollywood blockbusters like X-Men, Dark Phoenix, Deadpool 2, John Wick 3, Logan, Tomb Raider, and he has also worked on epic series of Game of Thrones, Vikings, etc. A native of Kerala, Mr. Chandran is now settled in Toronto, and he has had illustrious stints in various studios, including Soho VFX, Spin VFX, Trixter, Acme Pictures, etc. It was during one of his presentations during his MCA days, in which he used animation and VFX, his eyes opened up, and that was his calling to get into the creative industry that he is part of today. Without further ado, let me hand it over to Mr. Vikram for his webinar. Thank you and enjoy the webinar today.
Hi guys. Okay, so I am myself Vikram. Thank you for the introduction. Let me just make it full screen. Yeah, I have talking about me. I have been working for the past 10 years now. I started my journey from Bangalore. I was teaching for some time, and then I did here and there some work, but I was mostly teaching. And then I came to Canada. I had a back home experience in modeling and texturing. And with that base, I did come and made a demo reel and started looking out for work in Toronto, Canada. And then I ended up working as a compositor because I did take up a course in Canada. So yeah, I've been working now as a compositor for some while. And let me just show you my demo reel. Yeah, that's pretty much my demo reel, my latest demo reel. So I had the privilege of working with some good feature films. Right now, this is when I was working at Soho. Right now, I'm working at Take 5, so mostly my work will be mostly concentrated towards TV series, mostly in Netflix and Amazon. So right now, as we are in the situation of Corona and stuff like that, I am currently working at home. So that's also one good thing that we still have work, but not most studios have work because the shooting has to start. So we are hoping everything will open up soon. So let's start with my presentation. And I will present it. Okay, let's start from the beginning. VFX is growing. I would say, yes, it is growing. I hope you guys, if I personally would have seen you guys, I would have asked the same question to you guys. Do you think VFX is growing? To me, yes, and it will still grow because everybody wants to watch movies, something or other. I'll go with the slides quickly because I don't want to waste my time in this. VFX for everybody, right? So movie goers are demanding high quality visual effects and realistic animation. That is true. That's what we all expect each time we see a VFX movie, a feature film, and every time the quality it's just outstanding. We don't know how it's going, and it's just amazing how things are coming up, how the VFX, how this industry started and how it's now. It's just amazing. So now the face is like what 10 years back, how it was, it is now different. It's like as internet has become the main source for all media devices, it's now all kind of movies, whatever we are watching is just in our hands, like Netflix, Amazon Prime, it goes on. There's so many right now. And VFX doesn't stop over there. It just goes on. It's like full length feature film, TV series, documentaries, short films. It goes on. Now, as far as I remember, when I started, I didn't see much VFX in, there wasn't much in Indian industry, but now it's like you cannot think of not having. That's how the whole thing is. Even if you make a short film or post it in YouTube, you will have some sort of visual effects into it. So that's how the things are growing, and the new tools are also coming up, and then it's a good time to start. It's this industry is entirely different from the other industries. When I started, I just remember we had I know people always wanted a career in engineering and to be a doctor, to be a pilot. I remember when I was a kid, I just my teacher used to ask me, "Who do you want to become?" And then I just copy the person next to me. He says pilot, I say pilot. He says engineer, I say engineer. But nobody knew there was something like this will come out. But I was more passionate. Um, like each and every person has of a passion of drawing and arts, and I was also slightly inclined to it. So that's how I thought I'll slowly get into it. I did start with a little bit of traditional art, and then started to explore myself to understand where I can take myself forward. So now, by God's grace, right now I'm in this industry. I try to keep the passion burning. So then you will find your career more interesting. Yeah, so the 5 visual effects techniques currently right now, which is most of you guys may know, and who doesn't know about it is like, it's right here. It's rotoscopy, prep paint, match move, rotomation, chroma key, green screen. This is just a few actually. There is more, but I'm just writing a few of these techniques which is currently being used. And rotoscopy, in one word I could say, is just extraction. It's just extraction of anything, any object that is that needs attention. It's just you're extracting it out with the tools, with whatever software you're working on. Prep and paint is mostly used. Let me show you some images instead of talking. I'll just have some that I copied from the internet. This is, okay, why is this not opening? Oh, there you go. This is an example of rotoscopy. Well, in the left you see the actual image, and then the right you see different layers of roto being made. It's being colored. So it's basically you're extracting it out from this image, or you can use this for this roto. You can use it for some purpose which can happen in this image. Then is prep. Now, mostly prep is used when you have a crew member in the shot. You want to remove it. You have a wire, let's say a wire removal required in the shot. You need to clean stuff which is, you need to clean the plate. Basically, in one word, I could say it's just cleaning the plate. The footage that you get is called a plate, and basically you're trying to make it ready, just cleaning up, remove the stuff which is not necessary in the particular shot. And so it's easy for the compositors to just put that in. So it goes on. It's then we have match moving. Now match moving is let me take match moving for you. This is match moving. Now when you see this, you don't understand this. It's basically capturing motion data from whatever footage. So using different softwares, you can extract the information in 3D space. You will know exactly in what position, the particular object is standing, and so it's easy for you to. I will show some examples once I get into it. Let me just quickly go through this. Then we have rotomation. Now, rotomation, again, you can see over here, this person has 3D modeled hands on it. Now, in this 3D model hand, this hand can inherit different kind of abilities. You can put effects on this. You can put whatever you want on this. Like in my demo reel, let me take an example, some shots which I did. Just to show you this guy. Now, over here, you can see in the left side, this is one good example. It's a prosthetic hand. He actually had a hand. We just removed it, cleaned it up, made a clean plate, and then put that in. This one, same thing again. That was also a prosthetic hand. We cleaned it up and put the 3D geometry in this. This is a visor. This is John Wick. So my role on this one is to put all these gunshots, smoke elements, all these whatever is hitting on the window, all these holes. In this shot, what I did was I had to incorporate birds flying by. I don't know if you can see it, and the shark which is coming in the front. So yeah, some birds flying by and this shark. And this shot, this is a whole green screen shot. This is Ad Astra, if you've seen it. It's basically, this was a green screen shot. We had to kind of remove it, put this background in. This is like a underground swimming pool shot. So right now it looks like he's underneath the water, but he's actually in a small pool. So we had to kind of do a little bit of cleaning up and to make him get the feeling, and then that he's underneath the water. And this is from It Part 2. And this one, I had to incorporate all these bloods over here. And this is CG blood, by the way, all these bloods. And that is what I did on this shot. This is a Bad Boys Part 3, I believe, or For Life, Bad Boys for Life. This one is, they shot in some other city. So we wanted to make it as Miami. So we kind of used the buildings, replace all the hoardings, and there was a truck over here, a camera crew. So I had to remove the entire thing, and it's a one single shot. And he was in a helicopter, or I think it's up there. He was in a rope, so I had to do the wire removal tied to him, and it goes on. This is again muzzle flashes. This is Logan. Well, I had to replace the background. There's some cars, and I had to replace his face as well. His face. It was a different person, so I had to replace him. This is again green screen shot. These all are CG elements. The smoke, fire. Yeah. Now, when I was talking about rotomation, now in this shot, this whole entire thing is CG. This astronaut CG, except for the face. Visors are CG, except for him. And yeah, I think, yeah, this is, so with the rotomation, basically they created the effect of this vamp. Again, this is all 3D CG again. This is in a swimming pool. So yeah, this is again CG. This is a green screen. Well, this is again green screen. This is against green screen. It's a shot inside a studio, so but inside yeah, in a green screen. So we had to remove and put it. Again, this is again a BAM shot. This is again rotomation. This one is CG face replacement and adding leaves to this one. So I don't know which city they shot, but this is what it was. And yeah, so if you look closely, there was one mistake on this one, but the director didn't notice. I don't know if you can see it. There's a coffee cup over here. You get problems like that sometimes. Yeah, but they didn't notice. They didn't ask us to clean it up. And yeah, this one is a whole CG. This is full green screen. Lots of green screen. This one is adding muzzle flashes, bullets, and blood. Again, this one, same thing. This is Game of Thrones, adding ashes, green screen, goes on like that. This is again, all green screen over here. This one is all just a plate. So we had to replace this. Again, same thing. This was a different city. We had to just replace the buildings, put it like Miami building, and remove the wire on him. This one is all wires on, so I had to just do some wire. So this is just what this is all about, my demo reel. So just to get an idea. So, and then comes the chroma keying and green screening. So let me just explain to you how exactly this whole process works. Well, yeah, you know, let me just finish the slide. I have one more to show you. That is jobs in visual effects and animation. You have heard of most of these. Modelers, texturing artists, lighting artists, rigging artists, animators. Then coming to stereoscopy, rotoscopy, prep paint artists, matte painters, match movers, compositors. Then coming to the other side of it, VFX producers, VFX coordinators, supervisors. It goes on. I just added a few, but the list can go on. Well, that's pretty much with my slide. So let me show you some examples of, say, let's start with matte painters. Okay, I'm basically matte painting is basically replacing the background with whatever you want. I did something a while ago. This is my let me just show you. Yeah. Okay, this is a matte painting. Okay, let me just break it down for you how I did this. This is my daughter walking. I will just go to her. This is how it was. Okay. She's walking. That's it. And I have, this is my, I took this from my phone actually. It's just, so what I did on this one is, I wanted to put some matte paint. I want to replace this entire thing. So what I did was I opened Photoshop. This is how it was. There you are. So let me hide all these. Let me hide this guy, this guy. Let's hide this whole thing. Yeah, there you go. So I started like this. So I started looking out for images, and I started putting images in it. So if I started with this, some mountains, some greenery. So this is my last frame. So I picked a frame where I want to start doing the matte painting. So I picked this, I put few more elements, Again, went on. I put some here, put some here, put some here. But she's still in the same position, so I didn't do any changes on her. And there you go. So this is how it looked. And then after that, I did put some clouds and some fog and some atmospheric effects and some railing. Sorry, what is it? Yeah, there you go. So this is how I started. So what I don't want from this one is this and her. So I just removed these two, saved it up, saved as, what I did is I just made, I broke it down into different parts so I can use that. So I broke it up like this. So it goes like this. So I did expand it, scale it up a bit so I get more space, more details at the bottom. Actually, the whole thing is just this much. The rest is all hidden. So, but I need details on here. So I did add all these. I made it into different sections. If I say, first is the clouds, then I have this, then I have this, I have this, I have the sky. And then I saved it up as a Photoshop file. Coming back to Nuke, the next process is to bring that file. And this was the file. Okay, so this was the file. And I did go to the read. I can break it into different layers. I broke it up and I can see how it is. I got this layer, everything is separate now. And together I can see it like this. So that's how this Photoshop file is. Now, keeping that on the scene does not work because we now need some information to make it move along with the camera. So I need a camera for this shot. So if, earlier when I moved, you can see how the camera is panning and upwards. So I need to match that. So for that reason, as I told you earlier, we have to do match moving. We need to get the information from the shot. So what I did over here is I first said, excuse me, I don't want her. I don't need the information of her since she's walking. The rest of this whole scene is idle. It's not moving at all. So I gave the information in the form of alpha. Now let me come and explain you what is alpha. For an image like this, it's divided into 3 channels: red, green, and blue. So R for red, G for green, B for blue. Now, if I press A, that is alpha, there's nothing. Okay. So over here, I give some information. And then when I press A now, I have some information, alpha. And then I come down here to the camera tracker, which I already tracked. Okay, let me see. Okay, I'll answer this soon. So camera tracker, and then I'll do a tracking here. Let me just make another one for you just to understand. Camera tracker. Put it connected to the source. View onto this. Put this over here. And then I say, the alpha which is coming from this, mask it. So I'll say source alpha. I want to mask the source alpha coming from here. So how do I know if it's the source alpha. Now, what does camera tracker basically do? It creates features, it creates points, markers, and it tracks it along. So to make you understand about what features are, I will go to settings, feature preview, and I click on this. Now you can see, except around her, there are points on different positions, right? And then what I do next is I go to the camera tracker. I'll keep everything as it is and just hit track. Now it'll track back and forth. So, and then I will solve it later. So let it track. Okay, I think now you can hear me, right? Okay, good. My bad, I pressed one button. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. So I hit the solve and I get a solve. Now, when I press tab in my keyboard, I can see it in a 3D space where each dots are, okay? So, and it gave me an error of 1 pixel, which is not bad. And once I've done the tracking, the next step I need to do is to get from here, I need to bake out a camera. So instead of a camera, I'll make it as a scene. So I get other scene. Let's see what, if I put a scene and create, this is what I get. I get a scene, I get a camera, and I get some tracking points. So if I view through this, I can get a camera. And if I move this or play this, you can see how the camera is moving exactly how I want it to be. How my phone was, where I took my phone and I was panning it up. It's exactly how it is now. So I got a camera and I got all this information. Now, if I put a merge node, M for merge, I connect it to the background. I connect this. Now, if I connect over here, it doesn't connect because it's still in a 3D. I need to convert this 3D information into 2D. So I will make a scanline render, connect the camera. So the object goes to this, and this one, the camera goes to this, and now it's become a 2D. So now I can connect this over here. Now, when I view this, nothing much. I can see all the dots over here and it moves along. Yes, it moves along. And you can see all those points are dead on those points. So now what does that mean to me? It means that any object that I place over here will be locked onto that spot. Now, so for that, what I'll do is to show you, to demonstrate it, I'll go back to this tracker. I'll just view that over here. Say this point over here. I'm going to right click over here and say, I want to create a card. Now, card is just like a plane. Okay. So right click, create a card. Now, this is the card. Now, where is this created? It's created exactly where we said this point is. So where is that point? Right here, this guy. Now, if I double click on it, it's exactly on that spot. So in the 3D world, that's where that's where the plane is. Say, if for to demonstrate it, say for example, I put this. I just make something over here. Say, just for the sake of showing, let me just connect this to this guy. Look through this one. Say at 108 on the paint node. That's shortcut is P. I'll take the brush tool. I can change the color. Say, let's say I'll take a color of green or something like that. Oopsie, got something. Okay. I'll take the green color and say I start painting. Okay. Click over here. I increase the alpha 1 so I can get hard. Yeah. Okay, something like this on the spot. Okay, some kind of information. It can be a poll, it can be anything, it can be anything that you copy and paste from the internet. So I'm going to frame hold it because once I move from 1.8 to 1.9, it vanishes. So at 1.8, I'm going to put a frame hold. I'll say frame hold at 108. And then when I view this and move, it's still there, but it's not tracking along. So what I need to do, I'm going to use this guy now. So to use this guy, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, connect this guy to the card. When I view over here, it's right there. Okay. Next I need is the camera. So let me delete this guy off. I need to connect this card to the scene. And when I view over here, now it's exactly where that point is. Now, if I go back to here, you can see it's, okay, where did I create this? Just give me a second. Let me see if I did it right. This is here, this is here. When I view it, oh, it's here. So something was wrong. Yes, now I know what's wrong. I need to insert one more thing over here, and that is called projection. So we're going to project. Right now, what happens over here is, in the 3D space, even if I take this guy, scale it, it'll stretch along, right? It will rotate. It can move also back and forth, which I don't want it. I need to make it lock to that position exactly where it was. So for that, what I do is use a project 3D. I'm going to connect this guy above the card, and I'm going to copy this guy. I'm going to say, I'm going to frame hold it, this camera at 108. That's where I created this. So at that point, it's locked. So I'm going to connect this over here. Now, if I look, there's a difference. It's become small now. Earlier, it wasn't. See, this is how it was earlier. Now it's locked to that same point. Now, when I look over here, it's exactly how I created before, painted over here. Now, when I move this, it will be exactly on that point. At that same position. So that is match move. So I just want to quickly demonstrate this for you. So to break this down further, since I have to show more stuff, let me just quickly break it down for you. So I'm going to delete this guy off. I don't need this. So here we have the scene. Okay, we have this entire scene. My position for this background was picked from the last frame. That's 133. Okay, it started from here. So, and then as I move, you see the whole entire thing is moving. So it is the camera, it's moving along with the camera. So now it knows where each plane is. If you look what how I divide this is, one is for the sky. Let me go back to the sky, turn 33. If I look over here, they have the mountains. I have this, again, mountains. I have the foreground. Now, if I see that together, this is how it looks like. Now, if I press tab in my keyboard, you can see how it is laid off. I got one, which is on a card right here. I got another MITS, that's right here. I got another one right here. So it's in different positions, okay? Now, so now I have this and it is moving along with the camera, which I got it from here. So exactly how I placed this card on the point where I wanted, I did that on this. The same technique. And then coming to the next phase, that is extracting her out. I don't need this one. I don't need this, guys. So what I did over here, let me show you. I hope you guys can see. Okay, looks like you guys are okay with it. Okay, so first on the scene, what did I do? This is the footage. Over here, I gave an alpha of 1. So now it has an alpha. Earlier, it did not have any alpha. Oh yeah, I did have. I did the auto alpha here. Okay, either ways. Now coming back here, and then I color graded. So a little bit a lift. I give a little bit of lift so that it's kind of a little bit washed out. And then I gave it to a particular section on her head, except for the head. The other places are a little more foggy now. Then again, here I disabled it. I don't need it. Okay. Then when I come to this one, I extracted this particular one off. So what happens now is this is an alpha. So with this alpha, I'm telling to extract it out. So I have a roto and I have a roto of this entire thing. That's right here of her. And it's all done by frame. Next one is, again, I just made it more detailed. And over here, this guy is nothing but this path. What I did over here is I made on a particular frame, I frame hold it and let it move along with the camera. And I use that alpha, which is moving around, I added onto the scene, onto this alpha plus, so I have this, now I have this together. And dilate, maybe future I will let you know what this is. This is nothing but to expand it one more pixel. So here I have 2 pixels expanded. Then I blurred it, softened it. Now the alpha, this it has some information that's here, alpha. And that alpha with this black and white information, I'm going to cut from here. Okay, this one is already there. So I had some information here. So I'm going to add together these both. So I got this information. Now I get this information together. That's what this is now. So with these information, with this alpha information, which is right here, I'm going to cut this, this whole entire scene off, just except for this one. So that's why I've used a mask over here. A is alpha, B is from the plate. So together, I get this out. Now I can see how it's going. Then I used a grade to color grade it again, a little more washed out. And again over here, just for a path to extend the edge. Then I defocused it this side, basic blurring the end. Again, more whitewashing at the end. More fogginess, smoke. That's what this is. And this whole entire thing, which is coming from here, goes. This is the one which I just was talking about the matte painting, it's get connected on top of this. Now you have this. So we had from here earlier, this is the matte painting. And now we have with the fog together. And then at the end, I added extra fog on top of everything again. More fog. So once this entire thing is done, I did a little bit of more grading. I put more, little bit of saturation, little bit more of the vignette around it, a little bit of look, a little more grading, added grain, film grain. And finally, since I have all these information outside, which is there's details outside the, I need to cut it out with a reformat. So that's reformatted, and then I rendered it out. So together we will see that like this. So this is a matte painting exercise. There are some issues, but still, just to demonstrate what matte painting is, it can be anything from how we started from here to here. Sorry. Okay, so this is, so in this example, we covered match moving. There's rotoscopy as well. Okay, and matte painting. Okay, let's look at with another example. Let's look at, let me clear this guy off. Let me open something I did the other day on a car. So did I save it? Yeah, class, new car, yeah. Okay, so let me explain you how I did this. There's some issues, but this is how it's going to look like. Okay, now he is not driving the car. He is just sitting just like this. He's not moving at all. So I put a green screen. He's my friend. I put a green screen, and we extracted the information out from this. Okay, so first we need alpha. That means, let me explain what I mean by alpha. Say for example, this is the plate. Okay, this has, it's moving along. If I look at red, I have red channel, green channel, blue channel. If I go to the alpha channel, there's nothing. So we're going to give him some alpha information to us. Say, I'm going to create a roto by pressing O in my keyboard. And I'm going to say I want to take his face. I'm going to just extract his face out. Right now, I'm just going to go a little quick. Okay. Now I'm going to, so since this image has just 3 channels, I'm going to provide this with an alpha channel. So I use a copy node. So I use a copy node. That's the simplest node which you can use. So an alpha is now, so A goes here, B comes to the top, and then when I look over here, nothing happens. Now if I press A in my keyboard to see the alpha, I have some sort of information which comes from this roto. Okay. If I want to extract it out, I just use a node called everything going good, all good. Okay. Okay, just let me know if anything goes wrong. Okay, I'm just, since I'm not seeing any of you guys, I'm just going along. So I use a pre-mult. Pre-multiply is to cut the alpha. Now if I look over here, I cut him out from here. I can still go with more details. So in one word, I can say this entire thing, this one single roto node, you can use to extract from this plate using there's many techniques to do it. Okay, so that's what I'm going to show over here. Here what I did is I started, this is the plate. And then the first node which I used to extract this one is called the key light. There are many keying nodes. One of them is key light. So let's say I'll use it over here. Just for the sake of this one, I'll move it to the side. Create a key light node. Connect the source to this guy. Look through this one, nothing happens. And then you have a screen color in the key light. You can just click on this color picker. I press Control and Shift so I can select some area of how much I need. So something has happened. So if I press A in my keyboard, well, I got some of those extracted out. Some has some information. This white is basically means it has information. So how do I know what's what? If you look at the bottom over here, you see red, green, and blue. And then over here, you say alpha. So if you move along, if you move your mouse, basically, these values changes. So even the alpha also changes. We need to make sure this side is 1. Some you see 0.9. So over here also you can see the difference. Over here you can see it's not exactly 1. So basically it means it'll see through. Now what I'm going to do in this key light is now I need to enhance this, or maybe let's start with this clip black. So I click on this and move it front. So it's going to clip all the blacks out. And then if I can move further, I can clip as much as I want. And then to get back these details, I can push the clip white to the other side. And now I can push details to get this. There are problems in this one, but for a starting point, this is fine. This is one node. Then we have Primat as well. You can use Primat as well to key. Over here, I'll just click on this. So it'll extract that. And then again, I will go to the next clean background. I can go on, press A, I can go on, select till I get it clean. Okay, so sometimes what happens is some key on some areas give me a perfect key, but on some areas it doesn't. So what I've done is I've used key light, I used Primat, and I've used one more key called keyer. In keyer, if you look at the alpha A, you can see how this information is. So what I need to do is based on the luminance, I can push the values. Now, my intention is to get this white and this one black. So I can invert it and then push it from the other side. I can do that way. Now I have pretty much clean extraction happening on the sides, but some places it doesn't work. So what I did over here is if you come over here, you can see I have keyed on a base. Then using a key mix, I used another key light. And this key light and this one is different. You can see this is much more smoother at the edges and has some more details. On some places it didn't give me details, but doesn't matter. So what I do is with the base, I got a key. With another key light, I pulled another key, but this time I will say, I want that only on one specific area. And I specify that using a roto. So I specified it through here, just on these both. So when I look over here now, this is what I get. This is how it was earlier, and this is what I get now. Then again, I went over here. I think I disabled it because I don't need this. Then again, I went down. I used this guy to extract this guy out because this one I don't need. Again, over here, now I'm using roto now. Just the roto, nothing else. I'm merging it on the top. Instead of using a key mix, I just use a merge. So I can get that in here. And then again, I went on. I went on adding more details, more details. I think I can also add these details as well. Okay, so I can go as much as I want in this. So once that is done, same way. So this entire thing is now what? Alpha. Exactly how I did over here. This copy, this thing is alpha, same thing. This entire thing is an alpha. It's now plugged in with the copy node into here, pre-multed, and this is what I get. Now, one more thing I forgot to tell you over here is, when you when you extract something out, you see there is green spill happening. It's because the green is now bleeding. It's bleeding on the edges. It's even green over here. So I can use different nodes for the sake of this tutorial. Using the same key light, I can kind of bring that down. So if I put a key light again, so key light is now also good, not only for keying, but I can also use it for extracting to despill it. So what I do, I come here at screen color, I have red, green, and blue. So I push this to 1. And now you can see the entire green is being extracted. It's gone. But now it's a little harsh. So I need to do is just play around with this alpha bias to get a little bit more brighter. Well, for now, for the sake of this tutorial, I'm just leaving it just like that. Now, what happens if I don't use it? Okay, if I don't use this key mix, what happens? It'll turn green, right? So that's why I'm using this. So now we have got this so far. We got it extracted. We got this moving. Everything is fine, looking good. Okay. Now we need a background. So I did a small background over here. I have used my phone, maybe my GoPro, to get this information. I used a Chronos. Now Chronos is basically to read time or make it faster, slower, however you want it, you can use Chronos. So I doubled the speed of this because the car is moving pretty fast. So I rendered it out. So now it's easy for me to play, because Chronos is sometimes very slow on these systems. Mine is not a very good system, so I kind of rendered it out. So we have a moving background. I transformed it to move exactly where I want it. And I defocused it a bit. And then when I look over here now, this is how it was. Now this is how it's going to be. Then what I did is, I use the same background for something else now. Now what's that? I offset it just to move 16 frames back, transformed it, defocused it, again. And that one is for the mirror, side mirror. So when I view this, now you can see I get a reflection of this. And then I have a little bit of glass tint. So I'm going to use the same alpha information here. So I have this alpha. I'm going to say, I only want the tint to happen on this greens on the screen here. But the problem is it's black here. So now I need to invert it. So I invert it over here. So I now get this. Now I only need for this and this area. So I gave it by a rotor node. I specify this by saying I just need in this area. So now when I look over here, I got only these two. And again, now I use a black tint. So if I see from here, you won't see anything. But when I see from here, let's see from here, and now when I put a tint over here, you can see it's slightly darker now. And then on this, I'm going to use another, this is the moving background, which I rendered earlier. Using a Chronos, I speed it up. I did a little bit of color correction, made it darker. I did it in such a manner that it's slightly corner pinned. It's kind of warping the plate. Add a little bit of directional blur, defocused it, and used it only for that window section. And then when I see through this now, this is how it was earlier. Now I have it like a screen reflection. And this is, put it to screen and reduce the opacity. If I put it high, it's very high, bright. I put it less so I can see, you can see this guy. Added a little bit of camera shake because this shot does not have any camera shake in this, right? When you drive a car, definitely it won't be like this. They'll have a little bit of motion to it. So I put a camera shake. It'll be a little slow, so I'm going to stop this here. And so here we see there's an overscan. So that means I just need only in this much, but there's details all over here. So again, I cut it out here with a reformat and render it out, and this is what I get. Okay, so okay, if I have 5 more minutes, let me quickly show you one more thing. Just to understand, for a night shot, how you deal with night shots. Let me quickly open it. I think it's almost time's up, so let me just quickly open it. I hope I am not boring you guys with all this, because I believe some of you guys might not have, this is new to you guys. So it might be a little confusing of what's going on. But yeah, once you are into this, you will find it very interesting. Let me open up. Okay, let's look at this one. Is this the smallest one? Yeah, 61 frames, that's all. Okay, now this is a green screen shot. Okay, there's a building burning in front of them. So I put a reflection of the building burning. Let me show you what's exactly happening. I rendered it out. And yeah, that's pretty much what's happening now. Okay, so that's the reflection. Now, how did I do this now? Okay, let's look at the green screen. This is the green screen. I did a denoise. Denoise is to take off the noise. Because it's a night shot, you will get a bit of noise happening. See all these tiny grains on our face. So I use a denoise to kind of kill that. And then using the alpha, same technique. These all are some keys. I extracted her out. I get the green spill thing happening. And do I have it? Yes, I think I do have it. And then I edged blurred it. So I get this to be a little bit blurred edges. Otherwise it'll be sharp. And then what I did here is I need more details. If I look at the plate, there are some details, edges expanding, but over here it's gone inside. So I need some information. So I did one more pass of to get more details out. And I did some color correction. Since it's a burning shot, I did some color correction to show how it's burning. To show that the, sorry, yeah, to make it slightly more reddish. There you go, this way, yeah. So from here to this. So I made it, and then I did is I animated the gain values. I made it much more redder. I made it flicker because that's how usually what happens when it's burning. And then I did put a reflection of it's too bright, but the director wanted to be brighter. So I did put that in. And then comes the background. Background is nothing but I took a footage from somewhere, from some internet, some burning, whatever, naked people dancing. I took that bushes from here, cleaned it up, and did some color correction again on this one. Reformat, defocused it, add a little bit of fogginess, grain on top. This is how it is. More foggy smoke. Defocus. I'll answer that. Some more smoke, grain, and at the end, this is what I get. Okay, so it is a continuation of this shot. This one I could, since there's not much time, I'm going to, this is how it was. They are looking at this building burning. So it's burning and they're kind of standing there. I have some smoke. I color corrected them. This, by the way, I did not do this fire. Only some places I use some fire. Either way, otherwise I have, this was footage which was provided to me. I just add some fire, smoke elements like that on this. So, well, this is a keying, and this is you put a background to it, and yeah. So, coming back to answering some of the questions. Let's start answering some of your questions now. Okay. What is the difference? What is different between CG and VFX? Computer graphics and visual effects. Well, computer graphics is, you can't say it's, basically both are kind of the same, but computer generated visual effects. I can say there's not much difference on it. Maybe some terminologies might be different, but it's kind of the same. When I look at a movie, I can say, yeah, it's CG. It's computer generated. Like how I did in my demo reel. Let me show you. This is computer generated. This is a 3D model, his head. Okay. The entire whole process of elements adding to it is all visual effects. Visual effects. This entire background is CG. This visor is CG. His tail is CG. This floating objects is all, entire whole thing together is a visual effects. Now, there is anyone, okay, which is the best software to start experiment to learn? I would say Photoshop. I learned, you know what, when I started, I learned, my first software was Photoshop and Flash. I did use Photoshop and Flash together, and I did something, at that point of time, I was like, wow, I did that. That's how I found it interesting. So that's why it made me inclined to go into exploring more into this area of animation. Sir, is learning compositing necessary for a fresher FX artist? Well, like I would say you just have to know some kind of some basics at least, because like in my company, whichever company I worked in Toronto, especially, all those effects artists, whatever they render, they do. We have something called screening. We show it to our supervisors, and that's in a small kind of a room where there's 10, 20 chairs. They have our production managers coordinators, everybody sits there, and we submit our shot. When you submit a shot, you have to put it into something, right? You will get a plate, which is the live footage, and then you put the effect on that, right? So you need to know some sort of a compositing to show that. So you don't need to be a professional, but if you know it, it's better. So it's good to learn. It's good to know what I would say. How can we develop our skill in visual effects? I would say definitely watch movies, and definitely look onto details. Just look frame, just pause it and just look at it for some time. Watch tutorials, and do some sort of photography. If you have a phone, just take some photographs, and you will understand the sense of color, composition. There's so much of things you can learn actually. So yeah, that's basically it. You can start with one software. Photoshop is a good start, and then you can jump to After Effects, and then from there you can go on. Sir, learning composting. Yeah, I did answer that. Sir, which company are you? I'm right now working at Take 5 Productions in Toronto. Where do you clean up elements? Photoshop or some other? Okay, you can clean up in Nuke. You can clean up in Photoshop. Most of the elements we do, especially I do, is I clean up in Nuke itself. We have the paint node. So you have a clone stamp which is there, so you can use that. Any tips related to VFX in gaming industry? Oh man, VFX is, I would say, as I was like a blown out when I saw a couple of months ago, maybe last year, I think, when Unreal came up with their CG background. They completely used that, and they didn't use any green screen, and it looks so realistic. I would say, yeah, it's gaming. There will be soon a kind of what I would say. I won't say a marriage between both these industries, but there will be some sort of sharing of technology and using their technology into movies. And I'm seriously looking forward to that. Gaming, yeah, for sure. Any tips related to VFX in gaming industry? Yeah, yeah, I think I answered that. What kind of scope does one have to find promising jobs and study abroad with the kind of training that schools are given in animation schools? You know what? I would say work is work wherever you work. It's all more about passion. Promising job. See, if you kind of if you're passionate and then you learn apart from what you learn from your college or school, you learn something. See, the thing is that nowadays everything is available. It's not like how it was 20 years back, where we have PDFs and you have to read the entire thing. It's like everyone is making tutorials, and it's available. It's like you can learn, you can use the resources, and the main thing is you need to have some kind of passion to this. General software for VFX and CG. Well, there is nothing called general. Every studio has their own proprietary software. They have their own software. Like some studios use After Effects, some use Nuke, some use Fusion. Well, you can start with something. I would say if you have the resources to study Nuke, better. If you can learn Maya, better. If you can learn Blender, you can learn Blender. Actually, it's free, and you can do amazing things with it. Actually, is CorelDRAW good to start? Yeah, sure. You can start with anything, my friend. Anything, any software. How to start as a freelancer? Well, everything starts with a demo reel, something to show. If you have some sort of a content, some sort of references, then yeah, people will contact you if you have something good to show, something good you have done. If you have references, yeah, it's I would say the starting part of a freelancer will be a little hard, but till you reach a point where you get some references, till that it'll be a little bit of looking around, but yeah. ഏട്ടൻ നാട്ടിൽ എവിടെയാ? Oh, Malayali. Okay, I am from Cherthala. Like Houdini? Oh, yes, I like Houdini. It's kind of my earliest studio uh, only uses Houdini. I learned Houdini from here as well when I was studying VFX. Houdini for VFX, yeah, that's definitely. As a VFX artist, how can Unity software help us? As a VFX artist, as I told you earlier, right now, I think Unity will, Unity or Unreal, basically, it's going to be a matte painting soon. Instead of using matte paintings, it's going. I can use this whole entire setup to work for VFX. It's going to happen soon. That's for sure. Gaming is growing as well as VFX, and technology wise also both are going. Which social platform is good to catch clients and demo reel? Well, I'm not much into that kind of stuff. I don't. Social platform is good. Well, I kind of up to LinkedIn. I try to up to date my demo reel, and sometimes I put in Facebook. Maybe there are some, but since I have not done anything of that sort, I don't know. To get clients, I am fresher in VFX, so any guidance of how to and what to do to perform better? Um, well, I would say Photoshop, photography, learn softwares. What was your first salary in Canada? Okay, man. Okay. Well, I don't know how I could say that. It wasn't great. I started, frankly, I would say I started a little low because for me, I wanted to get into, once I finished my studies, I wanted to get into a job. So it was like hardly 8 people in that studio. So it wasn't that, but after later on, I got some experiences, I started looking around for some other places. Yeah. Well, it's not bad. I won't say it's not, it's like, they don't pay like peanuts, or they don't pay like, but it's good. And I'm a married man, so I got a that time when I started, I had a daughter, so it could sustain me. It wasn't bad. So did you work in India as a composer? No, I did not. I basically was into modeling and modeling and texturing. So I did not. Once I finished this course, I wanted to move from composting. That's why I kind of move from modeling and texturing. That's why I took composting. Which part in VFX is fun to work, and which one has more scope? Well, I would say if there, everything. I wouldn't say it's anything is. It depends on how you take it as. If you want to make it as fun, you can make it as fun. If you make it as I want to learn something new, then yes, that's going to be fun. And well, I would say everything is fun actually. If you are learning, everything is fun. Modeling, texturing, lighting, even the entire process of if you know at least something, like if you know how to do a match move and do a basic compositing, you can actually shoot something of your own with your phone and compose it in After Effects. That's also fun. When I started off, I did something of that sort, and it was fun. I call my friends along and let's do something. You know, match move. Okay, I'll compose it. You'll do modeling. Okay, let's do together. Work as a team. Come something up. At least we'll learn. We can learn something. From where did you start? University. Oh, okay. I did not go to any university to study. My background was entirely different. I am an MCA holder. I was not interested in computers, computer language. So I wanted to get away from it. And that time animation was slowly popping up. So I kind of jumped to it. I asked my parents, I want to learn visual communication. I want to get some basics of camera, some basics of graphic design, history of arts, some history of fundamentals of arts. So I know tools is not a big deal. You can learn any tools, but you need to learn the fundamentals first. You need to know about colors. You need to know all those fundamentals. If you get those right, you can apply those skills into any software you want. And yeah, I learned, I did my visual communication actually. What do you think about future of VFX in India? Oh wow, if you, I would say if, in India it is growing, man. Seriously, when I was blown out on each the small budget films that's made in most of the states. They everything has VFX. Uh, it's like I'm sure it's going to grow, and smaller shops is also going to come. Smaller studios, what I meant, is going to pop up here and there. If you want to start your own also, you can do, if a group of friends, that's going to work. You can take up small projects, and uh, if you have a good demo reel, you can, yeah. People trying to come to this field are scared about the pay. Yeah, I love to do this stuff, but I should, it should pay me to survive. Uh, I don't know. How can I say? Okay, see this one. This is I'll tell you my experience. Okay, I know money is important. Money definitely is important, but there is something called, as I earlier mentioned, passion. What do you want to become? Right. Once you are expert in that, money will come later. Money will follow you. You don't need to follow the money, for money will follow you. First you need to know something, you need to expect, maybe you need to have to sacrifices in, you have to do sacrifices in the money part, or you are learning something. You have to, first you need to have some kind of a skill. That's my motto actually. That's what I started. I was more passionate. If I could have done MC, I could have jumped to and get go to the money part, but I'm sure I'm going to get bored over there, well, because I was not interested. So yeah, that's what I want to say, man. Ashish, yeah. So hopefully I think I have answered most of you guys. Did I answer most of you guys? I think I've answered most of you guys. Okay, so let me hand over. Is there anything else you guys want to add, ask me? Okay. No, okay, I think pretty much. Okay, I want to ask you finally one word is why take VFX? Well, as the same explanation I answered, most of them is I answered with your questions. This is entirely a different industry. It's built with passion. It's built with dedication. Uh, if you love the movie industry, if you love seeing this kind of technology animation, well, that's how it is you will love, you will learn VFX. Not that great. Not that great. What? Okay. Okay. I'm sure one more thing I want to add is oh, okay, that way. Okay. All right. Yeah, sure, man. See, when I started it, I'm sure that salary wasn't that great. I'm sure now it's much better comparatively. I don't know. And right now, since Corona is going on, I know most of the studios are a little sleeping, but I would say now is the time to prepare yourself. Now is the time to learn. You can learn so much of stuff at this point. So just keep on learning. Yeah, and I know even AID is a very best place to start. Also, if you guys want to, I'm 21 years old. Is it safe for me to switch careers now in VFX? But you are in the right spot, man. 21 years is not yet. Yeah, you can. There's no problem, man. Switching. When I was teaching, I got people from IT working, and they wanted to switch to animation. So they work in the night shift and come and learn animation. And I think one of the guys are here in Toronto or Montreal somewhere. They switched the career. Well, yeah, why not? Yeah, sure, yeah, man. Uh, it, um, Degree is always good. So if you have some sort of a degree in VFX, yeah, it's better. If you have there are some people who do uh, uh, like when I was there, I remember some students used to do a degree, normal degree, and then in that night evening shift, they come and do the diploma part of it. It depends on how you want to take it up. If it's a degrees there, I would definitely recommend you to take the degree part. Okay. Degree over diploma? Well, depends. If you can do degree, I would say, yeah, definitely. Diploma is not too bad. I wouldn't say. I did a diploma here in Toronto, but at least I had some kind of a base actually. I do have a degree, uh, not in VFX though. I had a degree in physics. So that's an entirely different thing. But I had a degree. And then later I took a diploma. I have people who also have taken a diploma. I won't say diploma is bad. It depends on your situation. If you can take up a degree, that's fine. I am aerospace engineering. Oh, okay. Engineering is okay. Uh, you mean aerospace? You're an aerospace engineer, and you want to switch? Is that what you mean? I am aerospace engineering. It okay. Okay, I think that's what you meant. Well, see, if you are interested, if you are interested in VFX, well, you can jump. You can either work and then take a part-time course, maybe whatever is convenient for you, and then see if that works. What will speak most, degree or demo reel? Definitely, man, demo reel. Degree is also needed. Some big studios do look for degrees. They will, like most of the Toronto studios I know, they'll have something written over there, at least a degree and this one, or equivalent to whatever. Some studios do ask for degrees, and with a demo reel. Demo reel is the main catching factor. Well, that's yeah. Demo reel is the catching factor. How to join? Well, how to join is you can speak to AID, any of one of their representatives. They might help. They can help you. They can guide you actually. Pick up the course, which is whatever's convenient. See what's best suits you, the time and how you want to work it out. Yeah, talk to them. Oh boy. Okay. Oh, okay. I got it. Okay. I'm going to thank you, everyone, for having me. And thank you so much. So I'm going to leave. So I think it should be fine, JP. Okay. Bye, guys. Nice having you.